How's it going? This is Ben here from Connected Car Solutions. We are in our 2016 VX where we have installed the Galios wireless CarPlay and Android Auto interface. We're downloading some updates for our HEMA plug-in adapter. So while we wait for that and wait for the storm that's probably going to pass over, before we get into that, I wanted to show you the camera integration side of things. Because the Galios system is not just great for smartphone integration, but actually adding in cameras, it's a lot better than the rest of the options in the market, and I'll be able to show you why in a second. So yeah, this is just updating the moment. So the system itself actually has front camera and it's got rear camera add-in, and what might be different than the other kits is that we're actually able to add an aftermarket rear camera, so when you go into reverse you're able to see the aftermarket rear camera instead of having to see the factory system, because if you've got a caravan hooked up or something like that, it doesn't really matter what's going on at the hitch, it really matters what's going on behind the caravan. And this system is actually able to show you that. So we'll show you the aftermarket camera. So that's an aftermarket camera while we're in reverse. So you're able to see what's going on behind your caravan while you're parking up. You don't need to get anyone or your wife out to see what's going on behind you. Someone from the campground. You can just see what's happening with your camera hooked up on your caravan. As well as that, you've got your mode button here, and that actually is an auxiliary camera. So we're using that right now for our front camera, so we can point that down and we can kind of see what we're coming up to. If we're crawling out, it'll be able to be an eye, which is a little bit further forward, so if you're kind of creeping out onto a road, you can kind of see a little bit further, a little bit before you would be able to before. But if you can kind of imagine, we can also have this on the back of the car. We can have this camera switched from your mode button and be able to view your caravan behind you. So holding down the mode button, you've got, imagine your caravan, you can see while you're driving behind you to see if there's any traffic behind you, see if you need to pull over. If you're reversing and you've got two different cameras that you want to keep track of, you're able to switch between those two, going into reverse, going back into drive in a case of actually doing a parking maneuver, and be able to switch between these two. Now, of course, you are able to use your factory system. So we'll go ahead and we'll switch back and we'll go to our car. We'll make sure that we're not going to disturb this too much. Go to setup, car settings, cameras, and then we'll turn our aftermarket camera off. Okay, and then once we've done that, we can see our factory camera when we go into reverse. So if we've removed our caravan, we're not towing anything, we can still hook up that, we can still use our factory parking assistance system. Just like that. A camera view, which if you do have the camera view here and you press that, that'll actually switch between the different modes too. This vehicle doesn't have it, but we can show you on a vehicle that does have that system. Pressing this will take you away from CarPlay or your interface, whatever you're looking at, and you'll be able to see the cameras, your 360 degree cameras, your side cameras, if you have that feature in your vehicle. So great, looks like our HEMA system has updated. So this is a third-party system. We don't support the we don't support them too much, but we are able to kind of get you up and running with plugging it into the interface and how that kind of works. For everything that, this side of things, make sure you have a chat to the supplier for this kit, because yeah, it works really well. With the CarPlay, you do only get phone-based mapping systems, which relies on GPRS like your mobile networks to be able to pick up where you are, as well as the phone's GPS to kind of give you an accurate location. However, if you're outside GPRS locations, as you probably know, you aren't able to search for areas. Like you can't search for a cafe, or you can't search for an address. You actually need to be somewhere where there's internet to be able to do that. Whereas if you have something like this, you're able to use on-road mapping, you can use off-road mapping, and you've got HEMA's print maps. So it has its own internal, this device here has its own internal GPS, and has maps stored for offline use. So that's what we were doing just then. We were just updating that. Now it is downloaded for Queensland. I'm not too sure if we were able to update for New South Wales. That might be a separate thing. No, it looks like we have New South Wales as well, so that's great. Yeah, for more information about this particular system and how to use it, whether it's right for you, have a chat to AeroPro. But we're 100% on being able to interface this device with the Galios integration system to add in offline maps. So yeah, that's your HEMA, that's your camera system. Let's go ahead and show you Apple CarPlay. So we've just unplugged our device here. We've got nothing hooked up. What I might do real quick is we'll do a fresh pair. Okay, so we'll just make sure there's nothing. Alright, brilliant. So in our CarPlay, settings, general settings, CarPlay, you'll have your new device show up here. So we want to pair and allow. And then the wireless will pick it up, and you'll be able to display CarPlay. So from here, you'll be able to use the touchscreen. It's very responsive, even though this is the resistive screen, so you can kind of see how immediate everything is for what you're trying to do. We are offline because this is a test phone, but you can see that screen there. If you plugged in your phone, you had all the apps available, you'd be able to use the touchscreen just like this. Yeah, to be able to listen to music, we need to hook up our Bluetooth and that sort of stuff. So we can go ahead and do that, and I'll show you the results of that in a second. So we'll quickly go ahead and do that. Alright, perfect. So yeah, I'll turn off the air conditioning now. We've got some music happening. You've got skip tracks. So skip tracks are with the steering wheel. I'm not too sure if you can see that, but if we skip track, we're able to move over to the next song. Siri, if we had internet, Siri will pop up. We'll be able to tell her what she's doing. But again, this is a test phone. But yeah, speech is retained by pressing that one here. Pick up, answer, reject calls, obviously with the steering control button here, and you've got, you might not be able to see that, but because we're able to use Bluetooth for the music transfer, your multifunction display in the center here is actually able to show you the music that you're listening to, because it's information that's shared between the phone and the car. So yeah, very, very well integrated, and you won't see anything like this on any other kit that's available. Galios is the only one that you can actually do this with, so great integration. I'd love to show you Android Auto as well. It's very similar to what we're seeing here with Apple CarPlay, but it actually would have to use the phone that's recording right now, so maybe another time. But yeah, so that's our Apple CarPlay, that's our Galios system. You've seen the reverse camera system, the auxiliary camera switched by this, music, HEMA, on-road maps and four-wheel drive maps. It really is the best all-round system that you can have for the LandCruiser. Yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. You can visit us at our new website, connectedcarsolutions.com.au, and yeah, drop us a contact form, and yeah, ask any questions that you have in regards to the new Galios system for the Land Cruiser. Thanks for watching.